Welcome back. I see that you're eyeing my Dunder Miffies and my little bussies. I'm just here waiting for the market to open so I can dump $1,000 into something that's hitting its height of day, and then praying to the day trading gods that I'll hit 10 or 20%. I'll likely lose $60 to $70 today. In other news, I want to talk to you about AI. There's way too much going on with AI right now. I only want to talk about one thing, and one thing only. And it's always going to be what matters to your life, not who's running the AI or anything like that, and the competition and the economics of it. Nobody gives a shit about that. What I give a shit about is how it interacts with your life. I do work that has a lot to do with AI. I can't really talk about a lot of what I do, but what I will tell you is there are two distinct approaches that we've seen so far from the government when it comes to AI. You have the Joe Biden approach, which was putting guardrails around AI, a little bit of restriction around its growth to ensure that it's safe and it actually serves humanity. Obviously, there's still profit motive. Let's not mince words about that. And then there's the Donald Trump approach, which is, there's two parts of it that I need you to understand. I want to also reiterate, I don't participate in politics. I study it, I critique it, I don't care. I really don't. To me, it's a layer on top of government that's unnecessary. It's like a middleman, right? It's like you should have your own crop of weed. You shouldn't be buying it from any store, right? There should be no middleman in anything. In fact, you should be trading directly with the grower. But anyways, when it comes to Trump's approach to AI, much like any type of business that he thinks will reciprocate, we're looking at a guy who has removed all the guardrails, in order that that industry may thrive, right? And on its face, that sounds amazing. That sounds perfect. That's what we want. That's what freedom is. That's what the golden age of this presidency will be, is taking the leash off of innovation so that we can grow and go to the moon. That's not what that means. What that means is we're not going to care, or at least, and by we I mean the government, the country, we're not going to care how much the AI industry or the tech industry in general is going to exploit human resources, natural resources, anything and everything at its disposal. We're not going to care as long as we are first, right? That's the theme of the next 4 years, is that we need to be first, no matter what it's in. We have to be first. So if you remove the guardrails, naturally AI and the industries supporting AI, think of OpenAI, Microsoft, Elon, all of these tech oligarchs that are pouring billions into this. Now they have free range to grow these ecosystems. My biggest concern is not, will it lead to an AI that takes over the world, blah, 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 Terminator style. I'm sure that will happen at some point. You and I will probably not be alive when that happens. What I'm concerned about is the amount of cooling and the amount of maintenance and the amount of power that a data center needs to run one of these things, and how it affects you and me. It doesn't matter whether you care about the environment or not. You are part of the environment. So whether you care about it or not, it's still going to affect you. So hear me out. Right now, we are in an administration that says, okay, rest of the world, you want to do business with us? You're going to do things our way. Most of the world's response is, fuck you. Cool. We cannot bring the manufacturing of what is needed, the semiconductor chips. We cannot bring the manufacturing here. We don't have the resources to do it here. So when we close ourselves off from the world, we make it more difficult to innovate within this particular space that we care so much about. That's first of all. Secondly, the way we make up for that is brute force. So now we're brute forcing AI to grow. That takes an even bigger toll on your environment. And when you remove all the guardrails and you also gut federal agencies that regulate or oversee what's going to happen with the environment, then sure, you're going to be able to, at a much faster pace, ask ChatGPT who the best waifu in history is. And I would argue it's Chi-Chi, but that's just my opinion. Some might say Yoruichi, and some might say, I don't know, Cleopatra. But that's what happens when you don't care about how AI does things and you don't care about the environment. So as we move forward, we're going to find it very, very difficult to grow cohesively as a people in an environment that is killing us. Look at the increasing rates of pollution. Look at the increasing rates of death simply by having toxic air. You're thinking these are third world problems. No. Compared to a lot of what's going on in the rest of the world, we're almost there. And this is just going to exacerbate it. The last thing I'll say about AI is now China is saying that they have a much better product. I'm not going to go into the details because this isn't for tech nerds. This is for everyone to understand what's going on. I don't want you to get wrapped up in we have to be number one. We don't have to be number one at anything. We should just be. So China has overtaken the US as far as AI efficiency. Cool. That hit the stock market, tech stocks, which I should probably get going because the market's about to open. But here's the lesson that we need to take from this, is that your economy, everything that's happening to your wallet and what could be happening in terms of what future growth could look like is directly being affected by something that's actively hurting you. So now we have to get into this competition with China. We have to. There's no stopping this. We have to. And we've technically been competing with them. But now, I hope you understand that it doesn't help you. It hurts you. And to feed into this rhetoric that we'd first of all have to be number one, secondly, China bad, all of these things, no regulation good, fuck the environment good, all of these things, your kids and your grandkids are gonna fucking hate you the same way that you hate boomers right now because the American dream is dead. And I'll talk about that in the next video.